Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Dr. Ozzy, Host. This is the latest collection from Toronto-based Nix Chohan, aka Dr. Ozzy. His most recent effort prior to Host being the Demons in Denial EP from last July, an EP which had its incredible moments, the middle tune, Brooding Murder, placed in my top 6 tunes of 2019. Collider and Bar Brawl were fantastic in parts as well, but I found it as a whole project similarly mixed as with an EP like Vital, for example. This, however, a reflection mostly on the very high standard he's established over time. Pretty much anything compared to his Blueprint EP, for example, is gonna come off worse. He's a classic example of having reached that very high standard, and as a listener myself, as I imagine it would be with a lot of you as well, hoping for that every time, and having to realise that ultimately doing that every time just isn't possible. So I wondered, going into Host, simply how much of his star quality would he deliver again? Would it be Blueprint level? Would it be Vital level? Would it be somewhere in between? The latter, I think, being the answer. Some really good stuff on show here again, but also a fair amount nowhere near as effective. Gonna work towards the better material here. A good chunk of heaviness on Host I'm just not on board with. Doesn't get off to the best start with the opener and title track. Pretty underwhelming for him. A load of stomping, riddim-y dubstep, which is rounded and impressive in terms of the definition of sound. But on the ideas front, very bare, laboured, hardly anything going on, bereft of life and flavour. An opener functioning as an introduction to the EP, but not enthralling enough at all to have that role. Another here which I'm not massive on heaviness-wise would be track 4, Art Hillary. There are these cutting moments in the progression of each drop which are absolutely fantastic. The kind of technique Moody Good or Chi would deploy to give a track a bit more bite, done expertly here. Oh, so good. But generally, drop-wise, it's pretty ordinary for him. I mean, not bad, but by no means great considering what he can do. The track of the 5 I'm somewhat in the middle on is track 5, the closer, IG Night, which is quite the short-lived roller coaster to finish the EP. The transitioning here is pretty manic throughout. We get a quick-paced thumping drop here to kick off the heaviness, verging on something like Speedhouse, I would have to say. Very primal and tribal as well. Really working in the sense that what you'd expect from him in that style is what it is. A welcomed experiment from him, classically guttural and earthy. Also, I like the full throttle energy of the second drop as well. But the progression to each drop is, again, so ordinary for him, you know, really letting the track down overall. Also feels like it could have been developed a lot further, kind of over before it gets going, like an add-on at the end, and not a testament to his prowess as a producer. But now to the better stuff, and the first to catch my attention in a good way here is track 2, Zap. If you think Dr. Ozzy design presented in a really bouncy way, like a swing going back and forth, this is what you would get. A tune of great development, I think. The first drop lays bare what it's all about, swaying and grooving this way and that. The second drop unleashing it more, the clanky fake out included. Lots of appreciated changes from one drop to another. The scattergun delivery is insane. Clanky fake out. Bounce. Scattergun. Oh shit! The pick of the bunch is again the middle tune, which here is Play It Back Again, which I imagine will become an Ozzy classic in the years to come. Mile and away the closest we get to Ozzy in full flow here. The more I listen to it, the more it blows me away. For one, probably the best vocal sampling I've heard in dubstep all year. So crisp, so punchy, pointed, just lovely. Honestly, one of the best introductions I've heard in a long time. Dancing over the beat, reminiscent in that way of brooding murder, finding spaces to fire off into and make itself known. Drop 1 is one of those continuous stream-like Ozzy drops that kind of swims along, every sound seemingly overlapping that which comes directly after it. The double drop following that is a jumpier version of that drop and is brilliant. I mean, it gets a bit stuck in itself at points and the definition of sound isn't amazing, but the flow, I mean, fucking hell. Perhaps most interesting here, though, is the final drop, if one could call it that, the ending sequence here. We get a short, triumphant midsection, kind of rallying the troops, a quick build, preparing for the next drop. So far, all good. Then there's a decently lengthy, hazy fake out. Okay, all fine. Then, after that, another fake out, same length. It then transitions into a speed house kind of section, breaks down into more cheeky dubstep. Quite the whirlwind experience. One that I felt let down by at first, but the more I hear it, the more I realise as a subversion of expectation, it's really quite clever. The ending is a bit abrupt, but more than anything, I'm left purring over the astute execution of that sequence when the whole thing draws to a close. Elsewhere on the EP, I think we get an array of good introductions from Mr. Chohan once again. Most interesting, I think, is the Oriental theme playing a part mostly in Zap and Artillery, giving the EP a certain charm and sense of story. The opening to the EP on the title track is very pleasant and welcoming, inviting you to hear more. The beginning of IG Night is great, lovely colour and brightness to it. Got that rave flavour that many Never Say Die artists have been going for of late. And then of course, Play It Back Again, that vocal as attention grabbing as any I've heard in 2020. Wow. The only outro of note for me would be Artillery, extensive, hazy, slightly eerie, and it sets up the final track pretty effectively, I think. Mid-sections, I must admit, were somewhat disappointing, nothing particularly impressive or drawn out here. Where I feel the collection could have been given a bit more body and character, does fall short on that front. Must say though, the trotting on Zap is really nice, giving it a kind of journeying feel and keeping it ticking along. Like a horse, just trotting along. All in all though, I would say Host feels like another Ozzy project where I wouldn't say it fires on all cylinders by any stretch, but which yet again has an abundance of very gripping, riveting material on offer for fans of his to enjoy. I, or anyone for that matter, can't really sit here and expect a blueprint every time he drops a new EP, where every song is exceptional in some way. Would be unfair on him, as it would be extremely difficult to do. What's important for me is the fact that through all of these EPs, maybe Vital aside, there has been incredible music on show. He feels to me like the kind of producer that will never lose it, will always have that spark or cheeky idea up his sleeve. Play It Back Again being the perfect example here, but which we get elsewhere in parts of other tracks across the collection. It may not shine the whole way through, but then again, how often is it that a dubstep EP does at the moment? Moreover, I find myself enjoying it a lot solely because it's him, you know, his unique style and energy is clear throughout here, once again. Whilst the genre experimentation isn't boundary breaking, it shows willingness and ambition where others dare not go. And the vocal sampling is once again top notch. I think since Demons in Denial, he's elevated his style to a new level on that front. A good amount of dubstep here simply doesn't push far enough considering what he's capable of, and it's an EP I'll return to for moments more than whole tunes, I would have to say. Another mixed bag as a collection. Yet, simultaneously, it's further proof of how brilliant he's been from year to year, even if it is in flashes. So yeah, not his best EP, but just about enough golden moments on show to feel satisfied with this latest outing, I would say. Now, in terms of my favourite on the EP, nowhere else to go for me than with Play It Back Again, some of the best sampling I've heard all year, and some great moments in the heaviness as well. The most ambitious of the five here, I think. And for recommendations, if you enjoyed the EP, I would look at his older stuff for sure. His style is consistent and pretty unique, so not many who are similar out there. Quite hard to find many other producers who are similar to him, if you will. Maybe Control Freak, early Control Freak at that, at a push. But there we have it, my thoughts on the new EP from Dr. Ozzy, Host. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. But what did you guys make of the EP? Do you have a favourite track of the 5? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already along the way, and my social media accounts are linked in the description box down below, and if you want to find some other EP reviews on the channel, I will link them right here. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Keep it naughty. Peace out.